I would say I'm most inspired to continue my service here because I think the devotees here are very wonderful and enthusiastic. I also think that Srila Prabhupada considered London the most important city in the world. So did his spiritual master Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. The potential is really only about that much has been realized in London as far as what Srila Prabhupada wanted. Also as far as what can be done and the people that can be reached. Srila Prabhupada explained that the whole world could be reached from Oxford Street. So, just from here we could be assisting and giving people the opportunity to practice spiritual life all around the world.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I joined the Hare Krishna movement in Ireland. I got a book when I was living in Navan, and I went to the temple to get more information. And then after a short time I moved into the temple after a month or so. Then after some training there, it was recommended I come for further training to London. And I've been serving here in London since then. That was the beginning of 2006. Here my main service is distributing BBT publications, Srila Prabhupada's books. So the inspiration is very, very much coming from Srila Prabhupada and from Krishna. We always have an opportunity for doing different kinds of services. I've been doing book distribution, and at the moment now we have this new venture of traveling around, meeting new people in different towns and introducing them to Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
What attracted you initially to Krishna consciousness?
I think the philosophy, because it answered so many questions. Why there was suffering, simply answered through karma and reincarnation. What could I do about to improve myself and others? Vegetarianism, getting rid of the drugs and the alcohol and all that stuff. And it seemed like just an absolutely natural move to make. And then when I realized that the whole movement is really based around sound vibration, music and that, it was a no-brainer for me.
Does the process of Krishna consciousness work?
I believe so. The religion for this age is chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. But my experience is when I'm chanting Hare Krishna attentively, when I'm meditating on the deity, when I'm serving Krishna while meditating on him, I feel really happy. So as far as I can see, it works from my experience. Musicians, singers, and anyone in the arts, I think, are very fortunate. I don't think I could probably have lasted as long as I have, which is nearly 30 years, if I hadn't been able to some or other, be allowed to do what I love to do.
Yeah.
Then, of course, later on I found out
that you're supposed to do what you love to do for Krishna, because I knew Cat Stevens, and he gave it all up for Allah. And often the Jehovah's Witnesses knock on our door, and one of them proudly told me he'd given up his guitar for Jehovah. So I looked around and I found Krishna was willing to take me as I am, so to speak, and just engage me. And that's what's helped me. I do love Harinam, because people are stronger when they're chanting the holy names together. So I love doing that, and I've developed a program called You Are the Music, which is like a mantra chorus or mantra choir, and I'm trying to do 108 of those around the world.
We just celebrated one of my favorite festivals, which would be Jamashtami, the appearance day of Lord Krishna. And I guess it's so many devotees come to the temple. We spend a lot of time preparing for the festival beforehand, which means there's a lot of camaraderie that's created, and we get to serve so many devotees who come. Especially, it's my favorite because the deities look so beautiful on that day. There's a lot of extra decoration and special care that's taken for their lordships. You know, next to Jamashtami is the anniversary of the installation of the deities. I mean, they've stayed in the middle of London for so many years, and so many people come in and out. It's really wonderful and special to have the opportunity to serve these deities. I feel very grateful and very fortunate. Somehow they captured me in London. I'm not from London, but I came here and they just captured me. So I owe them. So I'm just trying to do the best I can to serve them. So the festivals are a wonderful opportunity to do that, because you get to serve all their devotees.
Hare, how did you find out about the Hare Krishna movement?
Bhagavad Gita was given to me by a friend of mine who went to London Temple and brought it back, my flatmate, when I was living in Cardiff in 1971. And he didn't read the Bhagavad Gita, but I took it and I read it through twice. And then I started praying for Krishna to send devotees to Cardiff.
What was your service for Srila Prabhupada?
Well, obviously, when I first came to Krishna consciousness in 1971, a few devotees came to my hometown in Cardiff. So my first service was pretty much what everyone else's, was to go on Harinam and distribute back to Godhead magazines. Then when the temple opened, the Manor opened, worked with Mukunda Maharaj as the vice president of the Manor. Later I organised the book distribution nationwide, always involved in Harinams. And so I was fortunate enough to have a reasonable amount of personal relationship with Srila Prabhupada to some level.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Well, I've always wanted to do a cafe. Before I came to the Hare Krishna movement, I was in catering. I was working in restaurants in Cardiff. I cooked in the temples as well, so it was always something I wanted to do. In 1975, 1976, I think, Jai Tirtha showed me a letter and explaining where Prabhupada actually explains the next phase of our movement is to open lots of restaurants and places where people can take prasadam, spiritual food. People who would never perhaps go to a temple will come into this cafe. So many people come in here, and we always play Srila Prabhupada's bhajans and kirtans in the background. Don't know if you can hear it now. Srila Prabhupada wrote some other letters at the same time encouraging devotees to have restaurants along with Bhaktivedanta reading rooms where people can become familiar with Prabhupada's teachings like that. So we always have a book on the table about Hare Krishna recipes, but it's relaxed. I want to open another 108 cafes and restaurants like this all over the UK. I want to help young devotees to do the same thing. I want to set up a trust where people put money in there and we can help fund young devotees to open little cafes. You don't need an awful lot of money. A small amount, with what I've learned now, a small amount can get you going. Distributing prasadam, you're distributing books. I don't know if you can hear in the background, Srila Prabhupada is playing. So people come in and they sit here, they relax, they don't even know 2 hours have passed sometimes.
Parashram, how did Food for All come about?
Mid-80s we were in Soho Street and the restaurant closes at 8 o'clock. We take everything, the sabji, the rice, the pakoras, mix it all together and we'd go out and feed the homeless people. And people loved it. You couldn't make such a nice preparation. So here we're sorting out the vegetables. The van comes in full of all stuff been donated by a big supermarket. We pick out the stuff that we're going to use today and what we're going to use tomorrow. So all really good healthy stuff and it comes by Krishna's mercy. The most important thing when you're cooking for 900 people is a big can of ghee, because if what you miss in skill, you make up in ghee. You get this ghee because it was a bash in the can, somebody dropped it. So we're cooking broccoli today. Nice broccoli, very tasty, very fresh, and we're steaming that. So we're cooking here sweet potato, corn, broccoli, all nice fresh veg. We cook it up and then we steam the other veg. The broccoli, eggplant stuff, we throw it all mixed together with a chance. Use cream, different things like that, make it really nice.
What do you like the most about the project?
That every day is a surprise, and I love the fact that we're helping people in the streets of London, and I love the fact that you get to meet all different people from all walks of life, people from all over the world, and it's very, very exciting.
Do you prepare all the food at Bhaktivedanta Manor?
Yeah, we prepare in the morning time. We take all the vegetables in, the fresh stuff, the potatoes, the carrots, chop it all up, put it into the pot, throw in your spice, and then we offer that to Krishna. And by offering that becomes a yogya, and that's the prasadam that we distribute to everybody. Because we don't have any money, So supermarkets and all businesses, they give me all their food. It's close to display by date. They give it all to me, and then we cook all that, and then we distribute all that. And it's so we're able to go under an environmental angle, under an environmental project, and because we're diverting the food from landfill, giving it back to the community, but in the form of Krishna Prasadam.
Just a physical thing, you know, they're not necessarily ready for any spiritual path.
Is it all done as voluntary work? Do you have a regular team?
Yeah, all volunteers, because actually spiritual life is what we call devotional service. So it comes from the heart. This is where the van has just arrived. We're unloading onto the rickshaws. There's 350 plates of food in these containers. These containers keep the food hot. And 2 rickshaws, one going to LSE, London School of Economics, this one. And all the students will come. Students are very poor these days. Also some homeless people in amongst them.
Well, my first contact with the devotees was with Parasham's prasadam distribution van. Unaware that it was prasadam, I just attracted by free food initially, and then I saw it was nice vegetarian food, freshly made, very nutritious food, and I thought it was amazing that people were distributing this kind of food. I went to their centre in Camden, and there I met the devotees. And I was instantly attracted by their dedication and their compassion and their commitment.
What kind of people do you distribute the food to?
The prasad's distributed to mostly homeless people, single parents, ex-servicemen, in fact students, in fact everybody needs to get Krishna Prasadam. The project's funded by musicians doing just charity concerts. Oh. We have a project called Compassionate Artists.
Okay.
And these are the people who do some benefit concerts. So the project's running from this at the moment. We couldn't get funding other places, and actually the artists, the musicians, they come forward and help us out because they like what we do.
That's brilliant.
A band called the Libertines, Pete Doherty, the band called Madness, different bands, they come forward and do us a charity concert.
Okay.
The food we serve is actually very, very beneficial for them, because we get a lot of people that say that they're drug addicts, but because they're getting like a hot meal every day, they don't actually feel like doing what they used to do, like drugs. They start to want to sort of come off things like drugs, drink, get better help for their mental conditions.
How do you feel that the Hare Krishnas have helped you in your life?
I first met them a few months ago. I found myself homeless on the streets of London. So I went to Soho Square to their temple.
You like going to the Soho Street Temple as well?
On the Sunday it's very good because you get a lot of people there, and it's a good atmosphere and communion with the people, and you get to know nice people. I don't know much about Hare Krishna, but I'm reading on them now to find out more of what they follow, what they believe in. I've read up certain amounts and I can relate to it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
How it changed my life very dramatically, because previous to Krishna consciousness I was struggling. I was searching for some kind of happiness and I wasn't getting any satisfaction. Success is achieved in the human form of life through devotional service to Lord Krishna. This is what brings everything auspicious into your life. It frees you from all material worries, brings you a real sense of peace and happiness.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
How long have you been part of organising the big chanting party in London on Saturday nights?
Well, probably about 25 years. And we all go down to West End, there's chanting, everybody's dancing, and it's a really wonderful thing. It's spontaneous. Everybody comes, just no matter what you're wearing, doesn't matter what condition, but actually the chanting is benefit everybody, because the holy name is very potent.
Yeah.
And that name actually is a real benefit. It softens the heart. And everybody's naturally Krishna conscious, but actually you can see that when ordinary Joes jump up and start dancing and chanting with us. It's a wonderful thing.